If anyone has ever had a period of prolonged stress, both physical and mental fatigue, and at the same time immersed in the chaos of work, relationships, and personal feelings, then it is very likely that we have experienced a complete emotional exhaustion that perhaps even we ourselves cannot name exactly what that phenomenon is if we have never had any experience with it before. It sounds vague, but its manifestation is quite specific. In times of difficulty, mental exhaustion is likely to lurk wherever we go. It is truly a dangerous bomb for both our physical and mental health if we do not receive timely treatment. Emotional exhaustion and stress are not the same thing. Emotional exhaustion is caused by accumulated stress and fatigue for a long time, leading to a deadlock state. Cynicism, reticence, and apathy are also common features of burnout, especially when a person has no control over how things are done at work or home, or being asked to complete tasks that conflict with their sense of self. And if that situation really happened more than once, I think we should seriously investigate deeply about the reasons why these psychological phenomena arise and how to overcome them. For a culture obsessed with optimization, hustle is an indispensable factor in it. According to research by Deloitte, 77% of people have experienced burnout at work, and 42% have left their jobs because of feeling burned out. This is a result of mental and emotional stress caused by working long hours and trying to meet the unrealistic expectations set by the toxic excesses of hustle culture. But what happens if our constant efforts do not lead to the desired results? Cognitive scientist Laurie Santos points out that while evolution forced us to constantly improve ourselves, our modern environment, with its comparisons and demands for excellence, amplifies this instinct, often to our disadvantage. I think there is none of us who does not want to find the meaning of life. Most of us have to live, even though not everyone fully understands the meaning behind that act of searching. But we ourselves will always keep moving forward, no matter what circumstances our body or mind is bound to or dependent on. Even though we stand under the context of a hustle culture or any other culture, the act of searching for the meaning of life does not necessarily take place as effectively as we would like, because time is a constantly moving cycle. So, from the first moment of birth, we have constantly moved to keep up with our life trajectory. Yet, how many people can explain why do we live in this world, living while following the wheel of time, while trying to find the meaning of our lives, and using our finite lives to search for the meaning of something, placed in an infinite time spiral? Is it fruitful? We are moving in a regular 24-hour cycle, morning then dark then morning. Our lives also revolve from the starting point to the ending, and then return to the starting point. During that cycle, some things are deeply ingrained in our subconscious and then become inherent instincts in us, over and over again throughout such a long cycle. Perhaps we can easily see and name those inherent loops when we just need to repeat a few typical actions during the day. For example, leaving home to go to school, and then returning home from school. During such trips, How many red lights do we have to pass or wait for? And do we remember them all? When looking at this example, it will be difficult to avoid feeling bored because this image is so realistic, so familiar and vivid that it doesn't take a few seconds for us to completely recreate that situation once in our mind. However, in reality, some action sequences are much more sophisticated. It is easy for them to deceive our feelings. With alternative tricks, it makes us have the illusion that we seem to have escaped from the boring things that have been repeated over and over again for so many years. For example, there is a group of people who will tell us that their lives are days filled with new things. The reason they achieved that awareness is because they are people with mobility. Their lives are always uncertain, non-stop journeys that gives them the feeling that they are on the road all the time. They renew themselves every day with new experiences and knowledge that are constantly added along the way. Continuously experiencing those different things has made us think that we are free birds. We have the right to be autonomous and decide to fly everywhere, as long as that is where we want to go. And we also have the complete right to decide what time is the time we want to leave. Yet the unfortunate thing is that once we have deeply experienced the power of free will, it will be difficult for us to accept ourselves being bound or imposed by any factor, and that also indirectly affects our perception, causing us to come up with the idea that, with the fastest speed, we want those old things that make us uncomfortable to be replaced by more stimulating phenomena. However, the nature of freedom is also a loop created under the guise of softness to replace the hidden things behind it, isn't it? But the truth is, we will still prioritize choosing an easier cycle to replace the previous series of gloomy days without light, right? Maybe the pressures from work and failures in life have suppressed our spirit, making us miserable for a long time, just like a fish that doesn't live in the right environment. Even breathing is a difficult problem. Our endurance can grow day by day, but it is also a finite thing. So there will always be a day when we will accept to give it a chance to be freed from the previous cycle of hardship. And then another cycle about to form from some vague ideas. However, there is one thing we are not sure about. Is it a suitable solution or simply an escape? Even though our feelings can be deceiving, how can we deny that there are some loops that we must face and overcome, especially when faced with difficult cycles that are the same and often repeat throughout life? Why are there ways of reacting and habits that we find no longer appropriate but still cannot change? Dalai Lama made the important point that we humans are the only species with the power to destroy the earth as we know it. However, if we have the ability to destroy the earth, then we also have the ability to protect it. Through his words, I see a way out revealed here for us. Instead of eliminating or replacing previous negative cycles at any cost, even if it means deceiving yourself, we can use the trick of exchanging situations to open up a different perception for ourselves. Appreciate the difficulties ahead and protect your belief system. The closer we get to the eye of the storm, the calmer our mind must become and not rush to escape it. Just like when we wholeheartedly hold a handful of sand in our hands, the sand slips out of our hands and runs away. The opportunity to overcome hardship is also in our hands. So, don't let the opportunity slip through your fingers because of a moment of impatience or stubbornness in not admitting the mistakes that led to the current situation. As well as Dr. Georgia Witkin, Progeny's Director of Patient Services Development and Assistant Professor of Psychiatry at MT, Sinai commented, "Life is a package deal. That means difficult problems are a fact of life, not a personal punishment. So, change your perspective when exposed to negative situations. We can absolutely rely on the intervention of a psychologist to resolve our problems. If we feel confused by recent tasks or always in a state of irritability, try taking a serious look inside and ask yourself, are we mentally exhausted? If that's true, then it's truly a good opportunity for us to challenge ourselves and improve our resistance to protect our spirit in the future.